What a year it has been, eh? I'm not up for doing fancy editing with jump cuts and music in the background. So this is just gonna be me rambling for a little bit, but I'm gonna try and keep it short. Um, First off, I hope all of the KLS family out there is staying healthy, staying happy, um, and staying safe. Um, my 2020 has been filled with sleep. Um, I remember when the pandemic really first started going, a bunch of KLSers and the Facebook group were talking like it's crazy to hear so many people complaining and talking about like missing all this stuff. Like, oh, I'm missing this birthday or this holiday because of the pandemic. Oh, it really sucks. And like we are so used to missing things for health reasons and sleeping through things, and there's so much of life that we miss that it seemed kind of silly to see everyone else complaining so much about it, but not everyone else is used to what we're going through. And when KLS first started for us, I'm sure that we all complained terribly, and many of us still do, myself included. It still sucks um, to miss out on all of the good stuff. Um, but the pandemic is not ending anytime soon. And this is the world that we are living in. Um, a few of my friends have called me lucky that I've slept through all of 2020. And I don't really agree with that. I'd rather be awake for it and be able to spend time, even if it's just time at home with my wife and our dogs, and being able to do Zoom video calls with friends and have virtual game nights and do all that stuff. So, um, I don't view my 2020 as lucky that I slept through it. But I will say that I've definitely missed out on a lot less than in normal years because just so few things are happening. Um, so yeah, I had my KLS episode. It started in mid-January, and it did not wake up from it until mid-May. The IV steroid had no real effect on the length of my episode because I was out for 4 months, which is usual. 2 to 4 months is my normal, how long my episodes last. So the IV steroid really didn't do anything. It made, I think, the episode worse. um I was definitely like more agitated, and because I was sleeping a little less, if that makes sense. Which I believe I've talked about, so I don't want to go too into it, but um it didn't do much for me. I'm so grateful and thankful that I was able to try that experimental treatment. Um, but because of my like overall attitude, I guess, in terms of not trying to like live my, not trying to spend my awake spoons trying to cure my KLS or whatever. I'm not like devastated that it didn't work out. I'm okay. It was worth trying, and I'm so grateful that um my friends and family and support system and everyone came together so that we could afford to give it a try, and we did. And I wish I had better news. I know that the study said it was only about 50% effective, so I'm not saying don't try it. Not that you should take any medical advice from me anyway, because I'm just a guy that is Klein-Levin syndrome. But yeah, didn't work for me. The bad news on top of that is I came out of episode May 19th. And I fell back into episode the end of June. So far in 2020, I was awake for the first 2 weeks and for about a month and a half during May to June. So I've been awake 2 months the entirety of the year so far. I am at the tail end finally of the episode that started at the end of June. My awake hours are all lucid. I'm just sleeping a lot still. I'm sleeping 12 to 14 hours a day, which is obviously a lot less than you normally would in an episode. Normally I have like the big 12, 14 hour sleeps, and then I also sleep for like another 4 to 6 plus hours during the day, whether they be intermittent naps or whatever, or another big sleep, if you will. So my awake hours are all lucid, and I'm just sleeping a lot more than an average person would. This usually could mean that I'm out of episode and my body's just recovering from being in episode for so long. The longer of an episode I have, the longer it takes for me to fully get out of it. But I don't really feel like I'm a functioning human yet. So I'm not calling myself fully out of episode. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable driving. Just because when I get tired, I get really, really tired and helpless still. So I basically am at the point where I'm telling my brain, like, if I can sleep, I should sleep. So often when I'm in a KLS episode, it's the reverse of, if I can stay up and force myself to stay up, I should, because I'm asleep all the time. So it's awesome to be awake. Now I'm telling myself the reverse because I need to heal. If I can sleep, I should sleep. So I'm hoping in a week's time, I'll be comfortable and say like, cool, I'm normal again. But yeah, so that'll be a 5-month episode. Longer on average than my usual. I've had those 2 mega episodes. One was 10 months, one was 15 months. But it looks like my average seems to be creeping up, because it used to be 2 to 4 months. But now lately it seems like my episodes are more like 3 to now 5 months. So that is unfortunate. Obviously did not do the IV steroid treatment with the episode that started in June. And yeah. So I just want to give a little update on how I'm doing episode wise. Yeah, there's so many vocal pauses. I'm annoyed at myself for saying so much that like I want to put the effort into editing this. So it's easier to watch. But I'm absolutely not going to spend my energy doing that, and I'm sorry for that. Yeah. So that's why this channel has not been super active, because I've literally just been asleep pretty much all year. Like I said, there were like 5 or 6 weeks when I was awake, but I wasn't like fully awake because I was recovering from being an episode. Those who have the longer episodes like I do know what I'm talking about, where okay, I'm not an episode anymore, but it's not like you snap back to being a normal person. Like there's the muscle atrophy, and your brain feels like you haven't slept in forever. It takes a lot to get back into shape, so to speak, to really be a normal person again. So I just basically slept the year away. And I wanted to update on that. On a personal note, with this channel, the original intention was also to like focus on like poker career stuff and Twitch stuff and all of that, and be like, cool, these are all the things that I, Jonathan Mitchell, am doing in my life to, you know, conquer my KLS. Not necessarily like, hey, you KLSer, you should play poker professionally, or you KLSer, you should stream on Twitch professionally, or whatever, but just kind of showing what I'm doing. With my mental health, I am foregoing making any progress on my poker career. It has just been way too disappointing to get it up and running and get it started, and I make progress and study and learn theory, and then I sleep forever, and then it's taking one step forward, taking 3 steps back. And I realized that it was really draining on my mental health, because I always feeling guilty for not being able to provide this income through the poker avenue. I was feeling like I was letting one of my best friends, who's my poker coach, down by not being able to get the work in, so to speak. So I've decided to forgo that. At some point, circumstances change, and KLS isn't what it is anymore, and that may be an avenue I take, but it's going to be a lot better for me personally to not have anything like that to focus on, and instead to really just kind of do things for fun, since I have so few awake days a year, to not spend them stressing out over trying to find something that will bring a substantial income in. I have still been streaming on Twitch. I've been really enjoying that. I actually just went through like a big name change and changed my username on like all my social medias, including Twitch. So I did like a big overhaul on everything. And I'm liking that a lot. It's allowing me to be outgoing, allowing me to meet people. It's allowing me to chat with people, whether they be strangers from the internet who pop into my Twitch channel, or best friends that I haven't seen all year because of the pandemic. It's been a really healthy outlet for me, and it does bring in a few bucks. I don't do it for the money, I do it for the fun. But since I am kind of dropping the poker thing, and the Twitch is like kind of the one thing I'm doing as a productive member of society right now, I do believe I'm going to create a playlist here on this channel and just kind of upload my Twitch streams. I'm not like going to edit like highlight videos or anything like that, but I want to upload them. Not because I'm expecting people to watch all of them, but because it may be interesting as a lesser to see, it's basically me videoing myself every day for hours at a time. A lot of those times I'm in episode. So it may be interesting to see, the deterioration of when I start to crash when I'm on stream. Like, okay, I need to be done. Usually I can get myself hyped up for an hour or two, and then towards the end it's like, okay, yeah. And then the stark contrast between me streaming when I'm not in episode versus when I am. So if I, as a KLSer, have these videos of myself a few times a week over the course of, a year, I should share that. It may be interesting to some folks. And I do think Twitch streaming is something that a lot of KLSers could do. Obviously, if you have the more typical KLS where you're completely zonked out, zombie, for days or a week at a time, you couldn't stream during then. But for people who have longer episodes like me, who might have a couple lucid hours a day, it really does give me something to do. I know there's a lot of KLSers that are always looking for something to do for work, and I'm not trying to make it as a professional Twitch streamer, but it brings in a few bucks here and there. So I at least want to share that part of what I am doing. I also will be restarting up the DDP yoga when I'm fully out of this episode. It may wind up coinciding perfectly with the beginning of a new year, which is cool. I'm a big New Year's person. That, like, not necessarily I make resolutions, but like turning over new leaves kind of thing. So I'll be sharing that journey on here as well. But I just wanted to update a little bit on that. I've been rambling for over 16 minutes now, so I'm going to stop. And again, I apologize for not putting in the effort to edit this and put in background info, but it's been so long. I wanted to at least get something up because I'm feeling good enough today to share what's really been going on this 2020. And I hope that you will stick with me through it. Again, I hope everyone's being safe, is healthy, is happy. I wish you and your families a wonderful holiday season, and do good and be well.